Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and this is gonna be how to train your Bangboo. Look at them, how adorable are them. We have an entire row stacked up real quick. And of course, this is a continuation of our Introduction to Zenless Zone Zero series, a playlist where you can find everything you need to get started regardless of what game you play. Now, I know I titled it like how to train, but in actual fact, you don't really train them per se. It's not like a pet where you need to level up. All you just need to do is like press a couple buttons and they get stronger, similar to like how you would level any other character in most gacha games out there. Now, first things first, I know EOS is very cute in this modify thing here, but we'll talk about modify in a little bit. Let's first talk about the rest of them and generally broadly, like how do they get stronger. So we ease into the more complicated stuff at the end because these are so cute. Look at this. Oh my gosh. It's adorable. They kick each other out when you're like swapping each of them in super adorable animation. But anyway, let's start off first with Bangboo. And I think some of you at this point, before like we get into all the nitty-gritty, will be wondering, how do you get B, how do you get A, and how do you get S? Are there any differences between them? And yes, there is. So S tier is something like your highest rarity characters. They obviously have better effects. We'll get into that in a bit. But first things first, they split off stats already. So HP you can see 412, whereas if I compare to an A, might be lesser, 346. I don't have a B at level 10, but I do have a B and A at level 10. So I'll compare these. So this guy is like 473 and I'll compare it to the one with A. It's like slightly higher, 822. Of course, different of them might have different scalings, but you get the drift. Higher rarity, better stats, pretty much the same thing across most gacha games too. So S ranks currently as of beta, we don't exactly know how they're going to be gotten, whether they are going to be limited to events, whether they're going to be gacha, or whether they are limited as standard. Those nitty-gritties haven't been ironed out, but definitely they'll be much harder to get than your lower rarity ones. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but first now let's talk about what a Bangboo is made of to break down. So to get them stronger, let's start off of course with this guy who's like level 1. You have simple things that you can do, like leveling them up. It takes these like materials over here that you can just click. For example, I just select one of them, I level him up, he gains more stats. These stars here are basically like Eidolon copies or your constellations of the Bangboo. You can get multiple copies of them and like dump them in with each other. So as you can see, I have one additional copy. They do a couple of things like increasing certain multipliers, increasing certain effects that they have, and of course this like Aether Aptitude Enhance. Don't worry about all these like complicated stuff, I'll explain it in a bit. Just know that more constellations, more Eidolons, more copies of your Bangboo means their multipliers get better, they get stronger over time. Kinda, for the lack of a better word, like a bit pay to win or luck to win, because free-to-plays can definitely get a lot of these. I'm sure your luck is definitely going to be better than mine. But yeah, that's the first thing first. That's how Bangboos generally train to get stronger in these two forms. But at this point, instead of training, you want to know what the differences of Bangboo do, right? You want to know exactly why do you care about training these guys. So let's start off with something super simple. They have a A, B, and C. These are pretty much their skills. You don't exactly control them, but they will just go around the field, like do something randomly across the map. As I'm sure you guys have noticed from some of the gameplay footage, you'll be wondering like, what's that Bangboo doing? Why is it doing so weird stuff? But yeah, so this Bangboo, the basically slashes, deals some damage. His second passive, the B here, is increasing all agents' HP by 6%. And last but not least, this is something that a lot of them will share. This is just a passive effect that their HP is then added to your team's HP, and similarly for their attack and defense based on a certain scaling. So of course, like comparing this to like a character, for example, like this guy here, who is a S tier, level 50, very high level. He has a scaling of like 16, 8, 16 with a very, very high amounts because he's not only S tier, but he's also a much higher level. So that is how you actually get more strength just by the fact that you have a very strong Bangboo. It contributes to your overall stat pool in terms of HP, attack, and defense. And other than that, each of them have their own special effects. Like this guy here, this safety Bangboo, he has a pen ratio increase of all agents, which is the equivalent of like defense penetration in the game of all agents by 17.5%. And if you play with like specific characters, the Bellabog industry like Ben, Grace, Anton, Coleda, you get an extra 17.5 to make up a total of 35% pen for your agents. Other than that, he also like drives around the field like this truck driving around and then like dealing physical damage and reducing defense of target. So each of them different effects. The S tier obviously you can see is kinda stronger. The Shark Boo similarly puts like traps on the field of ice. Each of them have different abilities. It deals a lot of ice attribute anomaly. If any of you are wondering what does physical attribute anomaly do, what is ice attribute anomaly, we have another video talking about elements very in depth, and I'm sure by at the end of that introductory video, you understand everything about this, so you know exactly what Shark Bull needs to do and what is he doing, not just going around laying traps for fun. But yeah, he also increases ice damage of all agents by 25%, and all of them basically have this Aether Aptitude Enhance where they buff the team by a certain amount. And as you can see, you see this level 1 here on top, but this Bangboo is level 5. It's not because he is special or anything, it's just because he has more Eidolons or copies of him. So this is like 5 copies of this Bangboo. Bs are obviously a lot easier to get 5 copies of. The S ones, like this guy here, a little bit tougher to get your max copies or like 5 copies of. So it's like 111, but still a fair amount. So all of them have like different effects. This guy here, you can see, deals physical damage, is a buffer for Cunning Hairs, a 28% crit damage buff for all agents, and Cunning Hair agents by 28%. Of course, the exact numbers and stats here is not super representative. When we go live, these numbers will likely tweak a bit, and we will definitely have updated guides on the channel telling you my thoughts on each and every one of them, who is better for what, and my tier list of, so to speak, on your Bangboo tier list, if you can call it that. But not to worry, this is just to help you get started and understand what you're going into, so we hit the ground running and don't like get lost in the process. So everyone has different effects. I'm just going to scroll through real quick for any of you who are just like curious what each of them does. And very quickly we'll go into this EOS here, this Bangboo, which I think a lot of you might be a little bit interesting as well. So we talked about Bangboo already. I'm just gonna, excuse me, I just choked on myself. I'm not gonna edit now, I prefer it a bit more natural in my videos. So modded Aether Detector, this is what he does. And last but not least, we have finishing move, Rock Crusher as well. Okay, so we kind of like talked about all of them. Now let's look at EOS. This is Modify. It unlocks, I think, after you reach a certain Internaut level, which is like your Adventure rank or Trailblaze level, then you actually have this. So Modifying applies certain buffs to all of your runs in rally commissions, whether you're going to the hollows and stuff. They all give you certain buffs. I have a buff that I set here, I call it Sustain. You can create like multiple sets. For the sake of this video, I'll just go to unnamed set 1 here, and I'll show you what it does. So each of these nodes here, you basically think of it as like equipment slots that you try to like fit and match. You will see different colors here. These are like different rarities. So like this one increases gear coins you get in the hollow by 5%, very nice to have. Pressure reduction 20%, HP restoration up by 10%, and of course as you get higher rarity it gets stronger. So like this, you have pressure reduction effects increased by 25%, so super good. Gear coins are increased by 10% also, so 5% here, like 10% here, and then you get stronger. All squad members recover HP when entering a boss stage. You have all squad members recover 5% HP entering combat. You have 2 additional Bangboo slots, and you have 1 item at a Bangboo merchant for free. You don't even have to use credits for and stuff like that. So the question would be, why don't you just put everything gold? Like, why don't I just slap all the gold? Because obviously they're a lot stronger, right? But here is the thing, they have different sizes. So this gold one takes up like 4 slots, so it's super massive. Your A tier ones, these ones here, let me just drag it over if my mouse is willing to listen to me. For some reason it doesn't move. Okay, so now it's listening. So you see this one here, there's like a tree over here, and then of course you can have a blue one which takes up 2 slots. I'm just clicking, dragging, and 2 slots here, so I'll just put it in, and then you can see one last one. The lowest rarity, of course, you can slot in a lot more. You can have 1. So the lowest rarity you can fit like up to 9, and so on and so forth. It decreases. That's why you kind of have everything gold. I have a set here that I already made on my account. This is like the sustain set, so I have stuff that heal me. You can see the effects that I have over here. These are all like the cumulative effects. It's like some sustain, because at high levels I find sustain is really challenging. In the game there's no healers yet, in closed betas at least. So yeah, that is how this modification works. And of course, the next natural step is how do you get more of these stuff too. You can get it, of course, by coming in here. You can come to this shop where you can purchase certain ones after you get like a certain amount of concentrated cooling fluids. These can be gotten from various means, be it events, commissions and stuff. These are gotten along the way. Once you have enough, you can come in here and buy. But also you have other events like special hidden ones, for example using the HIA collection coins. I'll teach you how to use that in another of our introductory videos, but basically you get it all over the place, and different effects just mix and match. Some might be better than not, but anyways, that is pretty much it for the Bangboos, how to train your Bangboo guide. I'm sure you guys already know how to use it, but for those of you who are interested to know exactly how to use it, you can actually, any mission that you go to, let's say we are coming in here, you will be able to select a Bangboo. Okay, that's not the right place. Let's go into the rally commissions. So let's say I'm fighting, for example, a Hollow Zero map, and I'm going into this one over here. Let's go into the Hollow level core. Anything that you select, you basically can select the Bangboo over here. You can choose who you want to start off with, and they will basically join your party when you are starting the fight, going to any of these like hollow maps. So it's additional buffs. Think of it like a weapon, but there are also weapons in the game because each character holds like a particular gear, like a weapon light cone, so to speak. If you are from Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, think of this as a team-wide weapon, which is super useful. Anyways, I do highly recommend you check out this playlist here, which I teach you everything you need to know about Introduction to Zenless Zone Zero to get you started and hit the ground running the moment the game officially launches. Anyway, it's me, EODGamer here. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.